on the Extensive Reading Foundation board. She's been one of the very early members. She's well known as the Queen of Extensive Reading in Japan. So we're very, very lucky to have her give her plenary talk.
Well, thank you very much. I'm not a queen, but thank you very much for
Princess.
You're the only one who called me queen or princess. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me to this to speak in this session. And my extensive reading life started when I was 17, several years ago. Well, I should say several decades ago. When I went to the United States as an American Field Service exchange student, I stayed upstate New York for 1 year. And then the thing that I was surprised was the speed of their speaking. They spoke so fast. So when students are talking to each other, I couldn't get in. When they talk to me, they slow down. So I really thought that we should practice natural speed English in Japan. And another thing was that the homework, well, and in our school in Japan, we had never we didn't have any homework. We have to, let's say, if we need to study, we do, so that a teacher don't control us. But so homework was, I thought, for the elementary school thing. But in the United States, every day we got a homework. And one day I had 80 pages to read with several subjects. And then the reading speed was, well, in Japan, it's normal. But in the States, I never catch up with my friends in the class. So I always stay up until 2 or 3 o'clock at night to finish my homework. So I thought something was wrong in Japanese education, English education in Japan. And that was the beginning that I thought that we should do a lot more input. And I did study. I went to a public junior high school and public senior high school. It's quite a high standard senior high school. So I studied grammar a lot, and it was a grammar translation grammar. So the English teacher in our New York, in upstate New York, he said, if you have any questions in grammar, ask her. She knows better than I do. Maybe in Japanese grammar, I don't know anything about it. Well, I studied it, but I forgot. So without thinking any grammar, and we use it. So probably the native speakers, they don't care about, no, I didn't say care. They don't have to think of grammar. So that's the thing that we do, but it's still the same style of teaching English from so many years ago. So the first, okay. This is something, oh, okay. Well, a structure. What I'm going to talk about today is why should language learners practice EREL? And why are ERLs not implemented at many schools? It started for more than 20 years ago that it gradually it's spreading, but sometimes that I found that some schools stopped and went backward. And finally, I would like to talk about a useful strategy or tips to motivate learners to keep reading. Motivating is very important. Okay? And then finally, I will add the teacher's role. Teacher's role is very big, not teaching, but helping and, well, helping and to motivate and let them read. So the first, okay, why should language learners practice ER and EL? But I think that the final goal for study or learn English, I mean, not only English, but foreign language is to use the language acquisition, to use language. So this, I think this is very important. However, and formal English education in Japan is still the goal is entrance examination to higher education. for high school or university. So that's not only the students, but the parents and schools. So they started 2 years in elementary school 2 years ago, and 3 years in junior high and 3 years in senior high. They do study this with this method. Teaching method is teacher-centered, mostly teacher-centered. And traditional yakudoku, grammar translation, is still the main stream. And then little exposure to difficult English and not the long stories, just short stories. And so it's a lack of input. And everything was focused on accuracy, very, very focused on accuracy, and little or no fluency practice. That without fluency practice, it's very difficult to use it. The problems are, after these studies for 6 years, the many university students increasing, not only university students, but high school and university students with low English proficiency, or they cannot use it. They have passed the entrance exam to probably Todai. Well, I've never taught at Todai, but some other university students, they passed the entrance exam, but they cannot use it. And also creating many unmotivated, reluctant students. I have taught 7 years of the repeaters, and half of the students said they started to hate English in the second graders, second year in junior high school, because so many grammar items comes one after another, and when somebody is absent for 2 or 3 days, then they just lose that time. So not enough repetition, and not enough context. So they do study and practice grammar. So, well, actually the positive effects of ER, there are so many, the gains in positive effect and self-confidence and motivation. As the former presenter said about the motivation. So the motivation is very important. And when students are motivated, they do read without being told to read. And then as the students are reading a lot and doing, most of the students who read for 1 year, the extrinsic motivation changes to intrinsic motivation. So this motivation and self-confidence is very important. And also about the side of English language, it's reading improves, and reading speed and fluency, and vocabulary gains, and grammar knowledge, and also writing and summary writing, they increase or improve. And also some people speaking improved. This is our study that we did it. But I'm sorry, but I'm not going to tell in detail, everything in detail, because if I speak all of them, and I need several weeks. So this is just speaking. It's we found speaking improved, and general English proficiency and TOEIC scores by Nishizawa. So he had long-term extensive reading and extensive listening. Okay. Now, then why EL and ER are not implemented at many schools, or even after they implemented, some schools even revert to their previous teaching methods. So grammar translation method to ER and EL, and back to grammar translation method. So I found several schools, not only high school, but junior high, senior high, and universities. I found several institutions stopped and went back to the original teaching method. And then we thought, we did, was me, my former colleague, and we did some survey using questionnaire to the teachers who have implemented extensive reading or who have not, or the 1 or 2, 3 year teaching or longer teaching, and several studies we did. And so we thought the negative factors are little budget for ER manuals, especially for public schools. Private schools, they have money, so it's easier to get them. Then junior high, senior high, public schools, that they are so poor, they say. And time-consuming teachers' work. So the teachers say if they have to manage books and they're already busy enough, so they do not like to be busier. And no support from the administrators or colleagues. So it depends on administrators. One school who was doing extensive reading very well stopped extensive reading. The reason was the administrator, the top principal changed, and then all of a sudden stop ER. So and then an ER experience of teachers in reading and teaching, or reading or teaching, I would say, or teaching. Oops. Oh no, sorry. Yeah. So those who have experienced in college, they are for ER, teaching for ER and EL. But those who have never experienced in their school days, they are just awkward to start teaching extensive reading. And also teachers' preconception, not only teachers, but the adults people, then, whoa, so these young people don't read books, don't read even Japanese books in Japanese, and let alone English. No, it's impossible, some teachers say. And also the enthusiastic EL teachers get transferred, the public school, especially public school. But one school in, what is it? One school in Tottori. So the very, very enthusiastic teacher was transferred to other city, but there are several other colleagues that started, or even though she was transferred, somebody was continuing it. It's a great, great high school in Tottori. Okay, so some possible trial against negative factors, or the possible way to do. So little budget for ER manuals, and is ebooks or X reading. Maybe there's a much easier or much less expensive than buying lots and lots of digital books. But I prefer for elementary school children to use paper books at the beginning. And gradually they can start X reading for junior high, senior high, okay? And also borrow books from nearby public libraries. As I said, in Tottori Prefecture, there are public libraries. They have graded readers or ORTs, and also some libraries in Kyoto, and more and more public libraries are getting graded readers. And time-consuming teachers' work. Well, ask the librarian for book management. Then first I did by myself, and it was a big job, but the librarians offered help, and they started to keep the books in the library, and they gradually bought books. Yeah, and so the no support from the administrators or colleagues or teachers, preconception, students don't read English books. Then show students happy and serious faces during SSR, sustained silent reading. I had several teachers from all over the world to observe my class at high school and university. And some teachers were really, really surprised that he said, oh, the students were reading without speaking anything. And one of the students was his student a year ago. Oh, that's him. Yeah, he's reading a book. He was really surprised. So as Henry says, SSR produces the most beautiful silences on earth. I love this sentence. I love this phrase. So once you use SSR in your class, the zoo becomes a very quiet place. Well, 5 minutes before, it was a zoo, like a zoo. Okay. Now, and then number 5, then no experience of teachers in reading and teaching, but read enjoyable English books and observe SSS classes. Some of the teachers who were against my extensive reading, one was an English teacher, another one was a science teacher, but this English teacher saw her own students are reading books even lunchtime or 5 minutes assess time. And then she, well, if this is so interesting and so nice, and that since the students are reading, then why not me? And she started extensive reading, and she read 1 million words in 1 year. Then she said it, oh, this is a good one, and I'm going to use it in my class. And she started extensive reading for junior high school, her junior high school students. And also the enthusiastic ER teachers transfers. As I said, some teachers, enthusiastic teachers are transferred, and they should follow, or she should leave know-how before she is transferred. They work together, and then they can continue. Hopefully. Oops. Something is wrong. Okay, useful tips to motivate learners to keep reading. So for this, for past several weeks, I kept reviewing my classes from 1995, and so many classes, and 1 high school classes, and then 6 universities, and 3 cram school. So it took me so long, but found out. So one school, the first school at high school, then some students didn't read much. So I got questionnaire and find out on demotivating factors for the students. And then some students said those extensive reading manuals are difficult to read, and it's too long. But at the beginning of the course, 1995 to 1996, 7, 8, those times, there were not 0 GR, graded readers. The easiest one was graded readers 1, Oxford Bookworm 1 or Penguin 1. That's the easiest one. But in 2002 or 2001 or 2002, they published that starter, so very easier one, easier than 0. And Macmillan 1 and Oxford Bookworm 1, and then Penguin, those are easy enough for the beginner to start with. And also attitudes toward extensive reading. This is very, very well interesting. Then it is, they said, an uncomfortable reading speed. That reading speed was about a WPM 100 or around. Some people read slowly in Japanese too. So 100 and around. But because in Japanese textbooks are very thin, and one page about 200 or 100 to 200 words, they use it for 50 or 45 or 50 minutes. So it's very slow. Nobody, even teachers read with a speed, WPM 100. So they thought its reading speed is too fast. And uneasy feeling because of no translation. And they said, some people say, why can you understand without translation? And I was once really surprised that one university teacher asked me, why can you understand if you don't translate into Japanese? So I showed Oxford Reading Tree Level 4 to him. And do you have to translate all these? And he said, no, well, this is, I understand without translation. So translation is more just what's the daily habit to translate. So the first year university student, after entrance exam, most of the students' brain is, as soon as they hear or they see English word, automatically Japanese come out. So at one student, I asked the first year student in the university first year, where are you from? Where, doko, are you, あなたは from どこから? He said it. I was really, really surprised. And also the next thing is the guilty feeling for not using a dictionary. So they were brought up or they were trained to pick up, look up a dictionary as soon as they find the new word or unknown words. So they always use a dictionary. So they feel guilty if they don't use it. So, so extensive reading, you don't have to, you don't stop to look at the look up a dictionary, so you can guess and go through the read through. So that it took several weeks for many students, but by the time they read about 50,000 words, 100 books, about 50,000 words, and nobody said, well, we need translation. Well, we have, we want to check a dictionary. So they can read without translation. And so after reading task, at the beginning, because there were not enough textbooks, books, and students were not, let's say, haven't got used to extensive reading. And then, so I assigned them to write summary in English, because that's an English course. The students are supposed to be using English. So in English, just write a short summary. And then some students said it was time consuming and annoying. Some students really liked them. And so I told them, well, after this questionnaire, I told the students that if you like, you can write it in Japanese, or just a short comment is okay. But one student said, I'm just full of English. After reading a book, I feel like writing in English. It's easier, she said. Okay, then you can write in English. And she continued writing summary for the whole year. Then most of the students stopped using English, or so they changed to the short comments, 2 or 3 sentence short comments. And the next one is socio-cultural environment. The students are not only university students, but high school students are very busy with other subjects and club activities or sports, tests, and after school classes. That means after school, they go to cram schools and study again. So they are very busy. And then some students said that I wanted to read books. So because I like reading, so I finished homework first, and then I was trying to read it, but it's time to go to bed. And my parents said, go to bed, it's late. So I couldn't read it. So then that's why I started SSR in high school class and providing some time to read in class. So not a whole class at the beginning, only 15 minutes, 10 minutes or 15 minutes with a stopwatch. Okay, you can read it in 10 minutes, go. And then they concentrate and read it. Okay, so this is demotivating to motivating students. Now, the major classes that I taught, high school 18 classes, 553 students, and universities, out of 6 universities, 1 or 2 universities I couldn't give the test, the pre and post test, and I couldn't find out their improvement. So most of this class is from 3 major universities out of 6. There are 148 classes and 3,528 students. Wow. And this blue one is a cram school. So they have quite different from the regular schools, because this one aged 10 to 12, they keep reading from 4, 5, 6, and junior 1, 2. So 3 or 4 or 5 years. Some students are reading 5 years, and other students stop this class and they go to the regular class. This is an extensive reading class that I teach. And adult class. So about 5, 6 years ago, we started the reading days during summer vacation. And one of the adults, one of the attendants, she was in 60s. I mean, no, so 80s. And now she's kept reading for 6 years. She's great. I'll have to, well, I cannot talk in detail, but I will, well, last year I presented, yes, some. So anyway, so they keep reading for plural years. University and high school students read only 1 year in class. But these clubs, an ER club from age 12 to 17, anybody is okay, but just junior high, most junior high students came to this. And now I have 16 students in one class. So I would like to show you, or some of you may have shown this, seen this, but I will show you 2 typical studies that I did on high school students and university students. So high school students, the participant, 124, depending on the year, 24 to 107 students, aged 16 to 17. And duration is 1 year class. And since 1998 to 2005, I collected the data. And the SSR, some SSR classes, that 45 minutes and 30 weeks. Every week, 1 day, I brought students to the library, but some other classes, I had to do the textbook, that 15 minutes. Okay. Now, from 1998 to 2001, we didn't have enough easy enough books. So 2002, as I said, easiest, the graded readers were published and Oxford Reading Tree were available. So I asked the library to purchase its easier books. And then gradually the easier books came to the library, and more and more. And then these 3 groups are English majors. No, not 3. All of them are English majors, except 2005. 2005, it's a regular class. Regular class means in Japanese, it's a lowest group, lowest class. So, okay, the easy readers that came in this from 2002, and implementation of SSR is from 2003. I finished the textbook very quickly in the first and second semester, and the third semester I took the students to the library every week. And then it was really helpful, and they improved and then enjoyed reading. So in 2004, from April till March, every week, just 1 day, I took the students to the library. In 2005, also, the students studied in the library, but as this was the lowest level, and I didn't force them to go up. So I told them to read just a comfortable level, then you can read whatever you like, and just a comfortable level. And so they read more than 200 easy books on the average. Some students read 400 books. Yes. And this is the library, what they are doing. There's the libraries of graded readers and manuals, and students can choose whatever they like. But the only thing is that do not choose the difficult books. And they are reading quietly. And I gave them the SLEP test, pre and post SLEP test. SLEP test is a easier TOEIC test. And some high school students to study abroad, usually take this SLEP test, and pre and post test, and every year, even the first 19, from 1999 to 2002, even though they didn't have books, they improved. They read difficult books, read it, and they improved. Originally, they are higher English, even the English course. And this, look at this pink one, 2005. This is the lowest group, but so many easy books. They really enjoyed reading easy books, children's picture books. And then they surfaced other classes, other English major classes. And this dot is the highest two classes. They didn't have extensive reading at all when they were junior two, not junior, high school two, second year high school. And third year, I taught these classes to do extensive examination for the entrance exam, okay? And I happened to use that's exactly the same test on these class, but these class, then they didn't do extensive, the pre-test, so I don't know the beginning was, but they were, they were chosen, the two higher class students were chosen from all the students. They had a test at the beginning in April, and they changed the, two classes. So another one is the research and university students, ER. The participants were 94, 96, and I wanted to find out the effects of SSR. So, the group 1 is SSR class, and group 2 non-SSR, just read in class or outside class, not in class, just outside. And duration is 1 year, and 45, and non-English major. Both are for the law department, students from law department from other universities. Okay, this is extensive reading in class. Students were supposed to check out the library, books in the library, but some students always forget or didn't bring them. So I carried a box, 1 or 2 boxes of books to the classroom every time. And they are reading very quietly. Some of the they're making fun. Okay, but most of them are very reading very quietly. And this is an SSL, listening. They're doing listening. Can you see this? These boys, they have a very CD player, small CD player, and they are doing reading while listening. And this is from Toyota National College of Technology from Nishida Sensei. I got this picture from Nishida Sensei. And they are relaxed in the library and reading or listening. And this is another library study, but they are not listening. They are just reading. And this is the call computer assisted language learning classroom. So they were doing listening, not only listening, but they did shadowing also, shadowing practice. And the different, the differences in reading amount between SSR and non-SSR. So the first semester and the second semester. So first semester, they read, SSR read almost 100 books, and group 2, 24 or something. And the second semester, 42, the books, less books, but they read more, let's say, the vocabulary, word count. This is 241,000 words. And this is only 41,000 words. So out of class, no SSR. And then the thing is that it's amazing thing is the word per book for this one semester, first semester, is only 1,600. And the second semester, the average was 6,100. No, not six. It was 6,100. Each book, yes. But these group where they didn't have SSR, they just read it outside of class, only 2,100 books. So they have improved, but from the beginning, it's not a big difference, but still quite a big difference at the end. So the books, the first semester, these pink and purple ones, SSR group, and green ones, non-SSR group. So SSR group read easy books. Easy books, and this is the mean, the average, and this, and the one who read more than 300 books, yeah, and some of words. So words also, SSR group read more words than non-SSR group. And the amount of reading done by GR is from at the end of the year, about 30,000 words to 1 million. One or two students read 1 million or over words. And compared to non-SSR group, they read much more. And the books of different level, G1, that SSR group read the easiest book, level 1, easiest books a lot for first semester. And the second semester, well, not much, but compared to these non-SSS group, they read a lot easier words. Then the results of the EPA test, not the EPA, sorry, EPA test, yeah, by Edinburgh University, EPA test. Then at the beginning, there's no significant difference in the beginning score. But 1 year, well, actually 10 months later, this was significantly different, the post. So because they had time in class, they read more than those who just read outside of class. That's one reason, I guess. And because they read in class, they don't mind reading children's books or easy books. But those who read books in the public transportation or outside, and they feel like reading difficult books, or they feel like feel happy to read a show. Okay, so the SSR is more effective. So the method in different situations. So this is high school and university. This is university, but everything was decided. So there's no room for me to change it. So the high school student, it is red marks did well. So numbers are, so the numbers of the time in class, SSR numbers. And also the reading log. I had students write reading logs, but these 3 classes are mostly no reading log. Because it was an online class, so they didn't have to do anything, just read it. And after reading task, I gave this black also, okay. After reading task, I first, as I said, I assigned book summary, but it was a failure, so I stopped it. And then book summary was just once at the end of the term, okay. And presentation, sometimes I got presentation when the classroom, the class size was not big. We did the presentation. It influence, there are students. So it was good activities. And comprehension test, we had to give some score, but not each book. The comprehension test at the end of the term, I did comprehension. I gave the comprehension test. And reading log, check the reading log. And then results in the test, what kind of test they took. This is a reading amount. They read more than other classes, more than the other classes, control classes. They had reading proficiency was a SLEP test or ACAN test. And some students took ACAN, and in the class high school SLEP test, and TOEIC, university student took TOEIC and EPER. So those tests, these red mark classes did much better than the dark one, black one. And okay, listening proficiency, and also SLEP test, the ACAN, they have listening test and TOEIC and Versant. This is for just university students to find out the speaking test, speaking and listening test that we did. Okay. So thinking about what were successful tips, then SSS, let's start with simple stories, easy reading, reading easy books, and SSR, and ER out of class. Then SSR only is not enough, so they should read outside of class. But since they read in class, they want to continue the books and finish the reading. And those students who had SSR read more in out of class. And reading log, this worked really well, because some students read back, check their reading log, and oh, I was reading this easy books, and now I have improved this much. And if students realize that extensive reading and listening are working for their improvement of English, and then they become an independent reader. We don't have to say read more, but they do it by themselves. So teachers' role, what they should do and should not do. So in order to succeed in the program, the teachers should encourage easy books, 50 to 100 short easy books, to get rid of translation habit. This is very important. And then short easy books, then change to long easy books to develop reading stamina, and then long difficult books. Okay. And then 5 to 10, well, it is called narrow reading, but 5 to 10 books to read from the same series and the same levels. And they should choose interesting books and they like, or genre. Otherwise, they don't want to keep reading. So every day, even 10 minutes or 15 minutes, it works to develop good reading habits every day. And students, teachers should check students' reading log regularly to find out if they are reading effectively or efficiently, and read as many as possible with the students. And in order to succeed an ERL program, do not assign or give pressure to a certain number of words to read at the beginning of the ER program. Some students came to me that at the beginning they assigned 50,000 words at the beginning. And students tried to read thick books from the beginning. They never went to easy books with a small number of words. So it didn't work. So please don't, I told my student, the teachers, not to assign numbers of words at the beginning. And the Smith says, we learn to read by reading. So if you don't read, but you never learn to read. And this one, I would strongly suggest that teachers try to do ER in a foreign language other than English. English teachers are good at English. So they feel, or they think that they really tell university student, since you're a university student, you should read Penguin 3. You shouldn't read Macmillan 1 or 2. You should read Penguin 3. I've heard lots of those assignment from the students. So teachers should experience in the same style, not with English, but in the second or third or fourth foreign language. And then they will understand how students are feeling. So effects of extensive reading in my class, when completing your program for 1 or 2 semesters or 1 year, students have developed a positive attitude, most of the students, and toward English study. Even the repeaters, more than 90% of the repeaters started to enjoy reading and develop motivation to read English books. And because they like it, they keep reading more and more and increase confidence in their reading, yes? And then improve their word recognition ability, automaticity. Not only word, but word and phrases and grammar also, and learn to read without a dictionary or a translation. And they improve their English proficiency and develop an understanding of foreign culture. They really read the content, yes, and acquired reading habits in English and Japanese. Those who read English books, at the same time they check out the Japanese books. The librarians reported to me. Yeah. So conclusion, two crucial factors for successful EREL is to start with simple stories and sustain silent reading. SSR produces the most beautiful silences on earth. Yes. Okay, this is the end of the talk today. Thank you very much for listening. There's 2 limited references. There are more, but just so many references on extensive reading. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Takase Sensei. So your wide-ranging experience with a bunch of different contexts and a bunch of different ways of assessing reading that students have done has really shown us kind of different ways that can be successful, and maybe some things that in our own experience we haven't had a chance to try yet. So I'm going to turn off the live stream